Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to a rambling video. This is my post or almost post EA Play rambling video, and we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things today. The state of Star Wars games, my trip, and the future of my channel, because this whole experience, and I'll explain what that actual experience is in just a second, has really sort of opened my eyes to a lot of possibilities, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So first off, this is a rambling video. I'm sorry that it's not as highly edited as it typically would be. I'm really just going to have this one image going for the entire thing. But as some of you know, depending on whether you follow me on Twitter or not, I was invited by EA Games to visit Los Angeles for EA Play, which is their version of E3. They don't actually have a stand or a show at E3 itself. They rent out their own building, they show their games there, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's like their early version of E3, and everyone knows what's happened now. There were a couple of a new Star Wars game and some Battlefront DLC announced. So there's a lot to talk to, but my trip was more than that. There were a lot of other a few other Star Wars YouTubers that showed up. There was the two guys from Star Wars HQ, who I spent a lot of time with, great dudes. And then Alex and Molly from Star Wars Explained. They're very good friends of mine, and so is Elliot from Star Wars Battlefront Updates. Then Dashstar, who's I consider to be a friend as well. And the rest of, all of us spent a lot of time together. Although, really, there were so many other Star Wars YouTubers that could have been invited. And I would have liked more there, to be honest. For previous EA events, there were more Star Wars YouTubers there. It was a bit more focused this time. I feel really lucky that I was invited because I'm not strictly a gaming channel, or even partially a gaming channel, really. I focus more on lore. Well, obviously, Battlefront Updates is gaming, Star Wars HQ is gaming, and, of course, Dashstar does a lot of gaming, too. So I feel lucky that I got chosen, even though others who were more selected, or within the niche, weren't. I should also mention, too, that the Galaxy of Heroes guys were all there, like Mobile Gamer, and I like hanging out with those guys a lot. We spent a lot of time together, and I actually did a video. I appeared in a video, sort of like a college football style ladder, or like a bracket, so I'll link down to that below. But my point is, I spent a lot of time with people that I know online, but don't get to see in person that much, and that was really, really wonderful. And we all helped each other out. For example, I'm using Elliot's mic right now. I filmed something with him, and we all just got lunch together, went drinking together, stuff like that. We also had a bit of a fan meetup, and I met a few people who watched the channel, and that was really, really wonderful. So yeah, just thank you to everyone who came out for that. But let's get on topic and talk about the state of Star Wars games. And while we were there, I guess I interacted closely with four games really. First, Star Wars Battlefront. Second is the new Star Wars game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I think it's named. I don't like the name too much, but that's not really super important. And then two mobile games, so Star Wars Rise of Power, and I can't really talk, well, we'll get to that in a second, and also Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. The one I interacted with the least was probably Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I learned a bit more about the game, but nothing that you guys would really find interesting, and nothing really related to the lore. Rise for Power was an interesting one. I got to sit down, a bunch of us did, with some of the developers, and there's a lot I can't say, but just know that they are very receptive to feedback, and I think the game is going to be a really, really good source of lore moving forward. You can see the game yourself if you look on the, they've got a page, what is it? Like they've got not open betas, but pre-beta or pre-alpha registration for the game. So you can check that out if you'd like. I don't know, they didn't exactly say when soft launch is going to be. I might be involved with it before then. I'm going to be giving them some feedback and helping to tell them what I think you guys would like to see as people who are interested in the lore. And I can't say more than that, but I do know that if you're maybe not a fan of mobile games traditionally, then you still might want to consider checking it out, or at least following my channel, because I'm going to, of course, be covering any interesting lore updates. Yeah, I don't know exactly how much has been confirmed about the game, but it's basically not like a Clash of Clans type of thing. I'm not sure, but it does seem interesting. Then next we have, I think what is most relevant right now, the Star Wars Battlefront II stuff. So there's a couple things. First we have Star Wars Battlefront II, the Kessel update, which I should have playing on the screen right now. I've got some footage, I might as well put that while you guys are just chilling. I think I can speak pretty freely about that. So it's a new map, the Kessel Mines, and it's a new game mode called Extraction, which I played a bunch. It is actually really, really fun. It's sort of like a mode in Team Fortress 2, I forget, and I think Extraction was in Battlefront 1, but it's like the mode in Team Fortress 2, where you have a cart that you have to try to move to the end point. You move it by keeping people around it, and they stop you by, either clearing out the people around the cart or by just, keeping the enemy away from it to start with. And it's really fun. I believe it's also going to be in the new Jabba's Palace map, which is cool. And there's also, we didn't get to see the Falcon or any of the new skins or anything like that. But I mean, it's a fairly substantial update, especially considering we now know that they are also working on a Clone Wars DLC. And it's free, I believe, just like all the other season stuff has been. And it's basically what everyone has been asking for. It's at least 4 heroes, I think they announced. Dooku, Grievous, Anakin, and Obi-Wan, I believe. And then I think they also said that there may be more later. And at least the map Geonosis and perhaps others. And they also mentioned, I mean, this is supposed to be a very ambitious update, and I'm sure that this is why the solo update was a bit smaller, because they're also working on a full squad system, I believe they said, and some sort of different game mode akin to what people have been asking for. And they are leaving some of this vague, but I think intentionally vague. Like, the point here is that, and so after the EA press conference where they announced all the new games and stuff, I along with Star Wars Battlefront updates and Alex and Molly and Dash and a few others, we got to actually sit down with Ben, who's the community manager for EA, and he's the one that works with the Gamechangers, but you also see him on Reddit and Twitter. He's very active with the community. And also Dennis, who is I believe he's the lead developer for the game. But don't quote me on that. He's a high-level developer, is the point. And we had a very frank discussion, most of which I can't repeat, about what they have planned for the game, and more importantly, they wanted feedback from us, from our specific communities. And of course they can't, if we tell them something that you guys want, we can't promise, or they can't promise that it goes in, but they can at least promise that they're listening. And I 100%, and they didn't tell me what I had to say here. I was pretty critical of Battlefront 2. We have full ability to criticize the game, and so they aren't holding me to say any certain thing. I had the total impression that they want to make the very best game that they can, and more important, that they've totally learned and want to make a game that fans want. And I don't think it's a surprise that the General Grievous used during the announcement looked exactly like ones that were seen on the Battlefront 2 subreddit. And yeah, so I just got a feeling like they, even afterwards, they're like, we want to keep in constant communication. Email me some, like, we talked about a few things, and they were like, email me X, X, and X, just once you've had more time to think about it. So I really got the feeling like they're working hard with the community, and that they will be making a game. They will continue to make a game that we all like. And I know for sure that this game is very alive. They're not abandoning it in any sort of way, and that it's got a long life ahead of it with lots of, again, I can't guarantee anything because I don't, like, they didn't tell me anything for certain, like but yeah, I just got the feeling that this game will continue to evolve in really fun and interesting ways. And they also went into like how they they're just basically very, very aware, and I got that impression throughout, that they're very, very aware of what everyone wants, and they do not want to put things out that the community doesn't want. Like, it's not a case of them trying to make the most money, because you can make the most money and still piss off your core audience. But I really got the feeling that they are super interested in making stuff that, especially like the people that really love the game, that they'll be happy with. And the Battlefront DLC is basically, as I said earlier, exactly what everyone wants. But of course, there is also Star Wars, I gotta get the name right, Star Wars Jedi Fallen, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Don't love the name, but I do like actually how it's called Star Wars Jedi : It's kind of like the old Jedi Knight games, so it tells me that this could just be the first in the series, and I really didn't learn very much about this game that you guys didn't. Mostly everything I know also comes from the press conference, so they said that it is set during the Dark Ages, which presumably means sometime after Order 66, and they kind of confirmed that by saying that it's between the prequel and original trilogy, so that kind of sets the time. He also said that it was very dark, and that's kind of the feeling that I got too. Other than that, I really don't know, but I'm also going to, as a game changer, I'm also going to try to be involved in that any way I can. And I mean, as game changers, like, there's no guarantee, and it's not like we can direct development of the game. It's not like we can tell them what to do, but they definitely listen to our feedback. And I mean, they didn't obviously make any promises about, involvement with. I mean, I just hope that there's some way that I can be involved with this game moving forward, because I don't know. Like, I know, and I said this, to everyone I met, the Star Wars fandom is really in need of, one, something unifying, and two, some really good single-player focus. And I mean, I don't know for sure that this is single-player focused. I'm just assuming, but some real good single-player focused story games, because we haven't really had anything like that since probably The Force Unleashed. We've gotten some mobile games, we've gotten some multiplayer games, but we haven't gotten. I mean, Battlefront 2 had a single-player component and also single-player DLC, but I mean, not quite the same. So hopefully this game will help help reinvigorate those who maybe have lost interest in Star Wars single-player games, or at least satisfy those who want a game. But yeah, I mean, it's still early to tell, and yeah, but interesting. So 4 games really I interacted with somehow. I'm excited for all 4. There was also a lot of other fun things at EA Play. We had a really fun event on the first night at a place called, I think, the Magic Castle in Hollywood. It was like this really exclusive kind of club, and it had bars in it and stuff, like 7 or something ludicrous. And then we had the Gamechanger Awards, where they awarded just basically, like, there were a bunch of categories, like Elliot Battlefront Updates won Star Wars Game Changer of the Year, and then there was just Game Changer of the Year overall. Probably some YouTubers that you guys would know if you watch gaming stuff. I think Westy was the one who won Game Changer, overall Game Changer. Then there was a day of, like, called Game Changers University, where they just helped us be better creators, really, and we talked to someone from Facebook live streaming, and and then we had the actual EA events, where I also got to try out Battlefront 5. I thought it was pretty cool. I only played that for a bit, and I tried out the new NHL, not the new NHL, but I tried out the new FIFA and the new NBA, and they were both fun, although my skills in FIFA have really, really declined. But I don't think that's really here nor there. Let's talk about, but I guess my point is, overall my experience as a game changer, this is the second event I've went to. I went to the pre-release thing for Battlefront 2 in San Francisco. And I just want to say too, like, as game changers, bless me because I'm not as active in the gaming scene, but game changers get pretty heavily crapped on for being EA puppets or EA shills. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. The guy who won the Need for Speed Game Changer of the Year award literally ripped up a Need for Speed disc and mailed it to EA. He was so unhappy with the game. And during his speech, he was like, he basically ripped on the game during his speech too. And I don't know what the guy's position was, but he was a marketing guy or a community guy, and he, like a higher up one, he was like, listen, as long as you're not like being hateful or inappropriate, you can feel free to criticize EA games as much as you want. If you don't like a game, tell us you won, but feel free to say whatever you want on Twitter. And that's what I've experienced. I know that like Battlefront updates and Star Wars HQ, those guys have all criticized Battlefront in the past. I heavily criticized the story campaign, and I wasn't a big fan of the certain aspects of the multiplayer, although I generally did quite like it. And I was active on Reddit and Twitter and everywhere about the game, how I felt, and I never once felt like that precluded me or stopped me from future events. In fact, I think they want critical people, I think they want critical people in the program, because the program is not, our job isn't to do sponsored stuff for the game, to give them credibility and views and whatever else, because honestly they could do that themselves much cheaper just by paying someone to, record the game without the other stuff that comes with it. They're honestly, and I believe this, the Gamechanger program has been along for a long time, and I believe that they're honestly trying to make the games better. But interacting with everyone that went to the Gamechangers program also kind of made me think, like, I don't do much gaming stuff on this channel, and I won't ever, because that's not what 240,000 of you, or 30, I think 40, have subscribed for. It's for Star Wars lore, and this channel is what keeps me personally afloat. It's where I make all of my money, so that will never change, and I will never, ever take on something else that, unless my channel fails, I will never take on a second channel in a way that starts to diminish the amount of effort I can give the first, or at least diminishes the amount of content I can put out and the quality of content. If someday I hire an editor, that would technically be less time for me, but as long as they kept up, the content, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But on the other hand, I do want to start focusing more on gaming as a creator. So that doesn't mean, again, I just want to reiterate for anyone freaking out, that doesn't mean that this channel, EckhartsLadder, will ever be gaming focused. And last year I put out maybe three games. One was sponsored by EA, which means that they paid me to make the game, and I made that very clear. And the others were just stuff I captured from EA Play. And yeah, so this will never be on this channel. Like, I like talking about games. I tried to lore play, it didn't really work. But I like talking about the games. I like doing the occasional stream with you guys, but that's it. That being said, I've got my second channel, X2, which I would like to start heavily dedicating towards gaming. The past little while I haven't been able to upload as much as I would like on there, but that's gonna change, I think. This trip really kind of lit a fire under my ass, and not only for EA games, I think I'm gonna start streaming some Battlefront more, but I also want to be in a position where I kind of become actually a part of the gaming community, because I'm not right now. I'm a Star Wars guy. Everyone, whenever I meet a creator during this trip, they ask, "Oh, what game are you here for?" Or like what game do you play? And I'm just like, "Well, I'm a Star Wars guy." Same with Alex. That's cool too. But I really want to make, for one, I love the gaming industry. Like, I'm a gamer at heart. I love this whole trip. I loved getting to meet other creators, especially all the Sims gaming community. They're it's so funny to see them. This is a bit of a tangent, but everyone who does Sims stuff, they all stick together. They're all friends. They're very loud. They're weird in a good way, and they're really funny. I know that's just a tangent, but it seemed like a really, really fun community. But yeah, I like gaming YouTubers. I like gaming creators. I like streaming, and yeah, I just want to make gaming a bigger part of my life. And it's also good just as a creator to also diversify, because who knows, something could happen to my channel and it could be gone. So in the future, that means, again, no drop in quality or quantity of content on the main channel. But if you haven't already, please subscribe to youtube.com/x2. That's my second channel. I've been taking a break from it for a bit, mostly because I need some time to catch up on work. I've had 2 big trips that I needed to kind of prepare for. But yeah, so give me feedback on what you think. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Should I take the second channel in that direction? I started off doing Empire at War stuff. The reason I stopped that actually is not because I wanted to, but because the game stopped working on my computer. But it's good now. It works now. So hopefully I can do more Empire at War stuff, but also play some different games. Like, if you guys are okay with non-Star Wars games, let me know. Like, I'd like to play, you know, Battlefield, but to be honest, I think, at least for now, it's probably better to stick with Star Wars. But I mean, I'd like to do lots of stuff on that channel, even the occasional, I love Fortnite. I know it's cliche, but I do love it. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I just think it would be fun for me personally. I think I would find it rewarding. I can't spread myself too thin, but I don't know. I think it would be good for me, and I think, because I'm always scared that something's going to happen to my channel. It has, you know, peaks and valleys, and recently it's been doing great with my new series, but you never know, so I'd like to, you know, move in a second direction, but yeah, let me know what you think. Is it a good idea? If you have any questions about EA Play, I can't give you any specifics about the games that I played, but I can tell you I had a great time hanging out with Battlefront updates, with Alex and Molly, with Dash, with all the Star Wars Galaxy of Hero guys. They are a blast to hang out with. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Just, again, thoughts down in the comment section. If you made it this far, tell me one game that you'd like to see me play on the second channel, and maybe a game that you've always wanted to stream, or, you know, just something that you'd be interested in seeing. Anyway, thanks to Elliot again for letting me use his microphone. Sorry that I've got an air conditioning running. It's probably a little loud and the pop filter isn't on. But yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys. Until next time, may the Force be with you.